your motivation for doing this? I mean, obviously you've done very well broadcasting, all that kind of stuff. Why did you decide to come back and fight Bare-Knuckle now?
There wasn't really a motivation per se. When it was first brought up to me, I didn't even really consider it. I just thought it was like a joke. You know, I was talking to Dave Feldman. We were guests on a podcast, MMA podcast radio show in Vegas. And, you know, he was very nice, and we were, you know, just chatting it up. And, you know, we actually started talking about the broadcast part of it, you know, and, you know, I'm allowed to work with other networks as long as it's not competing with Showtime, so we're talking about that. And Dave just mentioned, you know, well, what about you fighting, you know? And I didn't really consider it, you know, I was like, nah, I don't think it's for me, you know, I'm kind of good where I'm at right now. But then he started throwing out numbers that, you know, started to get my attention, you know, numbers that I would say, you know, that if they were there for boxing, I'd probably be fighting, but they're not, so I'm not, you know, like I don't have to fight, but if you give me a certain number, you know, you may give me it, may get me to consider it. And they kind of reached those points, and it got me past that step A, which step A was getting past the first part of the conversation. And, you know, once we got past that first part of the conversation, things started coming together easier, and here we are.
Yeah, so obviously, the money's right in the fight game a lot, but now that you're planning to come back and probably starting to train, starting to think about it, what does it feel like? Does it feel different, especially since it's a different environment? Like, do you feel kind of newborn again in that sense?
I don't think you ever reborn. I think guys tell you that, you know, just kind of motivate themselves. But I do think that in 2 years you miss it. It feels good to kind of be back in shape. It feels good to you know, throw punches and throw sharp shots and see combinations coming together. And it feels good just to have that kind of looking forward to something. You know, I think for the duration of your combat sports career, even right after a fight, you know, you're not looking forward to a fight. You know you will be training again for a fight. You're not looking forward to it. And, you know, for the past couple of years, I haven't really had that to look forward to. You know, it's kind of been just like chilling out, having a good time, but at the same time, not having that goal-oriented mind. You know, and all of a sudden now you put a fight in front of me, and I'm training for it, and it gets me excited to be in the gym every day. I'm sure there will be days where it's not so fun. Right now, we just started camp, and obviously every day's fun. You know, right now every day is like, you know, what I have to look forward to. You know, in that way I feel mentally reborn, and that, you know, I'm excited about it. But like I said, I'm sure over the course of a long camp, there's going to be times where, you know, I'm going to be waking up and be like, oh, this sucks. You know, but I think that's part of the course. You know, overall though, I do feel mentally rejuvenated. If that's probably the correct word to say. I don't think you're ever physically rejuvenated, but I think mentally you can find motivation, and it can push you and spur you on to push yourself and be a positive person in regard to chasing certain goals.
Do you think your boxing pedigree brings legitimacy to Bare-Knuckle boxing?
Absolutely, I do. I think honestly, any names bring legitimacy to Bare-Knuckle boxing. I think BKFC is the fights I've watched, actually fun fights. You know, it's a promotion that I think people would enjoy watching if it has the correct eyes on it. And I think they've just needed to legitimize themselves by signing some recognizable fighters. You know, right now the recognizable fighters are still kind of sticking to what they do. You mixed martial artists in their prime are sticking to MMA fights, and boxing fighters in their prime are sticking to boxing. You know, but I do think that getting the eyes on somebody like myself, which will bring more eyes to the sport in general, I think we'll open up fighters' eyes and say, you know what, maybe there's money to be made here. Maybe I can do this. Maybe this is something that could be for me as an option or an avenue for it. And you know, you may see more fighters coming over in their prime. I do think that better fighters will continue to come over. If you look at boxing 120 years ago, I don't think it was the level that it was today. Guys punches were wider, guys were power bounds. Now they're very sharp, very good fighters. The early UFC tournaments were much more primitive, tough, absolutely, but much more primitive than you see the modern mixed martial artists at world-class level, where they're just so precise with everything they do, you know. And so I think bare-knuckle boxing will also come into that phase as well, where right now you do see a lot of primitive skills coming in, and some really sloppy stuff at times. But I do think as it gains more legitimacy, more fighters will come to BKFC, and then more fighters coming to BKFC, you will also have some good fighters, even world-class fighters, starting to get there. And I think you're going to see some very, very good fighters come over in the long run. Just like as you saw the other sports kind of growing, the other sports, the other brands growing in that way as well.
Paulie, you said the motivation, the money's right to take the fight. You're in here, you're taking this fight. But is there a title with this organization, Bare-Knuckle Boxing?
I think there's probably titles. I don't know what the ultimate goal would be. Right now, I just kind of came in. it tickled my fancy, financially tickled my fancy, and also just the opportunity to, have, like I was telling you before, to have that goal-oriented mind. Just wake up in the morning and have something to chase, something to look forward to, something to do, And like I said, not that I wasn't enjoying my life before, but, when you have that edge of rush and adrenaline that you always live by, after a while, you kind of feel like something's missing, And so, obviously, I haven't competed in this yet, but just getting ready for it every day has given me like a new lease on life, so to speak, and a new excitement to get up every day and have a goal and have a plan for that day, and have a goal and have a plan for that training camp, And so, I don't know, obviously, money was important. Money was important. I wouldn't have got past step A if the money wasn't right. But once we got there, I can be excited about all the other stuff we ended up talking about, because even with the money, some other things have to come together. I think it has.
Just to be clear, just so there's no illusions, the plan is to fight Artem in June around that sort of time?
Without disrespecting Jason Knight, because we'll see what happens Saturday, I think that the promotion obviously would want to see Malignaggi and Lobov in June or sometime, whatever, I don't have a problem with it. At first I thought it was a ridiculous fight. I really didn't think there was much to it, but I do see that it's picking up traction. I do see that, there's, even you just asked me about it, I see that fans in general are talking about it. So I guess it's a fight that maybe should be made. I don't know. I guess we'll see Saturday, because you also don't want to put the cart before the horse. Maybe Artem wins Saturday, they looks like dog shit. That kind of kills emotion. Maybe Artem wins Saturday with his cut, or maybe Artem doesn't win Saturday. I don't think much of Artem as a fighter. I'll be fairly honest with you. He's a good punching bag. He lasts, he takes a good shot, and he takes a lot of them. But I don't rate him as a fighter, on skill set and on ability. But I guess everybody else kind of is talking about it and is discussing it. Anytime you have something like that, I guess you have potential to sell and market something very well.
Well, with the history with Mcgregor, it just makes all the sense in the world, right? This sort of feels quite the promotion when you're in just to fight.
Yeah, because you can't get Conor in there. Conor has his own things going on, and you can't get Conor in there. So I guess maybe the next best thing is to put one of his boys in the hospital, and that's the goal. If I get somebody in Conor's team into the cage with me, into the ring with me, whatever they are with me, the goal is not just to win, because of course I'm going to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a foregone conclusion of me winning a fight like this against any mixed martial arts fighter. But so it's the goal would be I have to really excel at something more. Just beating a guy like this is basically like beating a guy in my first fight, 12 fights. It doesn't really do anything for me on an adrenaline basis. It's a fight I look at it like I'm supposed to win it. It's a fight like I look at it I'm supposed to be superior to him. It's a fight that I look at it like it's kind of expected. So the goal would be to put him in a hospital and make sure he spends most of the summer in the hospital. That would be the goal for him.
Did you train with him or any of other Thomas teammates when he was brought in, or was it just
I spent time with some of the other guys, but not Artem, because Artem actually, they're like him and Conor type, so he stayed in other house with trainers, that had a nicer house. And some of the others farm for it, a lower level house, to put it mildly. So there was not really a lot of communication with Artem. The only communication was one day when me and Conor sparred, he just said, "Yo, that was good work," and he just came up to me, and that was it, But that was it. I saw him do some work with Conor in boxing in his gym. I remember thinking this guy's really bad. I didn't think Conor was that good, but he was bad. He was really bad. So if he's anything like that, I mean, I worry for him Saturday too. Because anybody can do that. I know I've been told by people that Jason Knight is more of a ground guy than a stand-up guy. I don't know where the strengths are, but if Artem is anything like I saw him 2 years ago in that training camp, I mean, any punch could potentially land on him. So I don't know what to deal with it, but hopefully for him, he's improved a little bit,